Big news from one of our favorite saxmen. Jason Mingledorff is hitting the road this fall as a band leader, and he's bringing the heat back home to Alabama. If you don't know Jason, you should. He's one of the most in-demand sidemen and session players in New Orleans, having shared the stage and studio with New Orleans legends like Papa Grows Funk, Dr. John, and the Nightcrawlers. The man's sax chops are the real deal. We called up with him a few weeks back, and he got into all the details.
So it's all connected. But, yeah, that's the teacher of me coming out.
I love it. I love it. I think that's probably, I haven't played music with you. I don't play music, but I can see you being a great band leader because you have that in your past and you've done that for so long.
It definitely helps. I think another thing, a lot of this did not come natural to me. So it has a lot of hard work. And I find that I've had to find ways to kind of fool people into thinking I know what I'm doing, or and you do it enough, and you know what you're doing, and so I do find that I have a lot of tools available to kind of help people who are struggling, problem solve and get better.
There you go. So you posted the other day on Facebook that you had some great news. South Arch Jazz Roads grant.
Yeah,
and you're doing an Alabama tour this fall. So what's that all about?
That is very exciting. I think this is a great program. It's a grant by the South Arts. They're based out of Atlanta, I think. And basically, they will supplement, if you get the grant, it supplements a tour you're doing. And the criteria are that you're playing jazz and you're bringing your music to places that don't normally get it. So rural areas. And you have to book the tour first. So they're not just going to give you, so you have to do the work. And
here's some money, go on tour.
That's not going to be much of a tour. I'm going to tour my neighborhood. So you book 3 to 6 gigs, and I just happened to. I had an old girlfriend call me and say, "Hey, you want to play? I'm running this arts council in Troy, Alabama, which is like middle of nowhere, and would you like to come?" And it would be like an anchor date, which, for those who don't travel, a lot of times the tour is built off kind of a good paying gig, and then you can do some other gigs. And I was like, yes. I had only really done my own thing. I did a gig in Hawaii a couple years ago. Which, by the way, I got wonderful news this week. I haven't really shared it. Is I'm been asked to come back to Hawaii to the Maui Jazz Festival in the fall as a solo artist. So that's exciting. But anyway, but I hadn't been on the road as a band leader ever, really. So I thought, well, this will be a really cool opportunity. And I heard about this grant, and it's great because I never would have booked a bunch of gigs. That's just too much of a pain. But knowing that the grant was there as a possibility, I booked a tour. And even without the grant, I was able to get some good gigs and get like 6 gigs that I could pay the guys a decent amount, where I felt like I could ask them. But if I got the grant, I could pay them what they deserve, and we could do it right. And I found out last week that I got the grant, and which is now I'm in the process of just confirming everything, and I'm already had to make little tiny changes, but so now we have 6 days. I'm originally from Alabama, so one of the gigs is going to be at my old college at Alabama. One is at my parents' college. There's a club in Birmingham. I'm hoping Florence, Alabama, where Muscle Shoals is. I'm going to go up there, and a couple of other little more rural areas. And
Tuscaloosa, right? Columbiana. I've never heard of Columbiana.
Shelby County. Yeah, that's a very small town. One reason I really wanted to do this also, when I was young, I grew up in Montgomery, Alabama. We had a special concert outdoors. I'll never forget it. I think I was high school age, and we had Alvin Red Tyler come. Alvin Red Tyler, who used to play with Dr. John and Fast Domino. He's one of those connections.
Infamous. He's infamous. You've heard him, whether you know it or not. You have heard him.
Yeah.
And he had what was his one hit though? Peanut Vendor.
He did, yeah. That was actually Peanut Vendor. Yes, that was him. Brett Tyler. Yeah. Peanut Vendor. Yes. So
many songs. I know.
Yeah, that's good. I have a good story about Peanut. I might ask me later if you have time. Peanut Vendor. Anyway, so he came to Montgomery and did a concert, and I remember just being really just enthralled by this concert. I remember he did a version of the song. I wrote it down, and I didn't know at the time it was not his song. It was "People Make the World Go Round" by the I think that's the my mind just went blank. Anyway, great band that made that album, and he did a version of it with kind of like I want to say like a little second line kind of groove to it. And I remember being like, man, this is a really cool feeling and everything. I loved it, everything about it. And I must say it probably had an influence on me coming to New Orleans. And I was lucky because I eventually got to study with him not privately, but he led one of my combos at UNO. And then I eventually kind of, after he passed away, I started playing Barissax with Dr. John, where he used to play. And I wrote a song about him for the Nightcrawlers. I mean, like, he was a big influence on me. And it all came from him to traveling and taking his music outside of New Orleans. So hopefully I can, bring a little bit of that New Orleans stuff to some other people.
It's almost a full circle. I've seen that you spoke before about growing up in Alabama, how it shaped your ear early on, the Muscle Shoals thing. Now you're kind of coming full circle, bringing New Orleans back to Alabama.
Yeah, it's there's some amazing musicians out of there. There's a lot of soul in the city. A lot of them, though, they don't know about what we have down here. It's a little bit different, but it's connected. So I'm looking forward to it. And I don't think I've ever had 6 nights in a row of playing my music with my own band, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Right. Are you thinking a set list for all 6 shows as opposed to trying to make them?
I'm always, every time I get ready to do a gig, I like to throw a wrench in there. Use more for myself. I always like to throw something new in. I got a great band. I have the bass drummer and bass player and drummer for my first album, Doug Garrison from the Iguanas on drums, and Ed Wise on bass. On piano, I have Mike Limler, who tours with George Porter Jr. He's been playing with him for 25 years. Wonderful piano player. And on guitar, I have someone who's also from Alabama, Bert Cotton, who I played with Funk Monkey. He's in Bonarama. And he used to have a great soul jazz band called Half Soul Will Travel. And so he's really he can play, he can really do the jazz stuff really well, but he's got a real strong funk kind of nature. And the music I want to play, I've been playing more live, kind of leans more toward the funkier kind of grooves and stuff. So
the Start It stuff, maybe like you're going to be pulling from Start It in the journal sessions, right?
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, I might do a couple of little covers and stuff, but I'm pulling from those albums. And making Start It, my first record, was a real self-discovery in terms of what kind of musician I am, and most naturally at and stuff. And definitely the more soulful, bluesy, funky things were things that I felt more like this is me. So I'm in the process of writing music. I've already got a lot of songs written for a new record, and I just kind of wanted to put this one out just because I love the tunes on it. I think there's great playing on it, and I want to put it out there. And as I work on a new one, and I don't have to be rushed to get a new album.
Fascinating, absolutely fascinating.